Welcome to Money and Sense, where we make sense of your money in the real world. My name is Possible, and today we are joined by the incredible Dr. Etel. Today, we will be helping you navigate the tricky water of financial decision, especially when inflation, interest rates, and global uncertainty are affecting our daily lives. Thank you for being here, Dr. Etel.
Thank you very much, Possible. It's always a pleasure to talk about practical skills and strategies that could really make a difference in people's lives.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you here today. And so let's just dive right in. So many people struggle with deciding what comes first, paying off their debts, saving for emergencies, or investing. How should someone prioritize this? Do you have any tips or anything that you could give some of our listeners that are interested in investing or saving? What can you give us?
Look, thank you very much again, Possible. It's such a pleasure to be here with you and with the audience listening into this. So the key really is to look at the type of debt. That's the first thing. What are the high interest rate, like the credit cards or payday loans, as we do have here in Australia, should be the top priority. Because the interest compounds faster than most investments can grow, of course. And once that's under control, building a small emergency fund, even as little as $500 to $1,000, definitely gives a great buffer against unexpected expenses. You know, this is life. Things do happen. Yep. You know, a child could get sick and can need to pay for something in emergency. You want to be able to make sure you have enough buffer to cover that. After that, you can also start balancing investing and further debt repayment. So the principle is simple: protect yourself first and then grow your wealth.
Okay, wow. So it's a mix of protecting and planning at the same time. That makes sense?
Exactly, yeah, definitely. So exactly, it's really protection first, growth second.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. So speaking of emergency fund, some people feel like they can't save because they are already paying bills and debt. How should they start?
It's a never-ending cycle for most of the population, isn't it? Yeah. But really, look, what I would say or suggest is really start small. It's as simple as that. And this is all general advice. I'm not giving any personal advice here. Start really small, even as little as, it could be $5 or $50 a week. It all adds up at the end of the day, at the end of the year, when you see what you've put together. Automate the savings so it's consistent. All you really want at that beginning stage is consistency. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, I struggle with this a lot as well. I'm not a saver. So asking me to put $50 into a savings account could be difficult. But one of the ways to do that is you put it in an account where you lock it. You're not allowed to take anything out of it, and that could really help. Treat the account or wherever you decide to save like a non-negotiable expense. It's like paying your car insurance.
Yeah.
For those of you, hopefully every one of you who own a car, you pay car insurance or you pay house insurance. What happens? You put it in, it goes, and it never comes back. Yeah. If you pay health insurance, the same thing. Doesn't matter if you use it or not. So why can't we just try and learn the habit of doing the same when it comes to our savings? Saving for rainy days. So over time, you reach a comfortable buffer, ideally 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And remember, the emergency fund is not for luxuries. It's not for you to, I see people put money together and say, I'm going to spend it on this. Again, that's a different fund you would need to put together. But to have your emergency funds, it's not for luxury or things like that. It's for real emergencies like medical bills, car repairs, or sudden job loss. For example, at the moment in South Australia, universities are merging, they say. And during that merge, a lot of people have lost jobs, although that wasn't promised when it was all happening. So what happens with that is if you lose your job, you don't have that emergency savings, you don't have any buffer. Okay. You should have at least 3 to 6 months saved somewhere in case anything happens to you, or if you're partnered, happens to your significant other, how can you survive without that additional income or that only income that's coming in? So that safety net reduces the stress on you, on your family if you have a family, and prevents people from taking on new high interest debt, which again would add on to a lot of the stress you would already be going through when there's an emergency.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Ethel, for that insight. It really means a lot for some people to start putting that emergency fund. So here's another question: is once people have debts under control and a starter emergency funds put aside, they might ask, investing now or pay off more debt first? How do you decide on this?
Well, I would say possible. It really depends on a lot of factors. It depends on the interest rate of the debt versus expected investment returns. Also, if your debt carries a high rate, pay it down first. Guaranteed savings are better than risky investments. And also for lower interest debt, a split strategy works. So allocate some money to investments and some to extra repayments. Also, start early. It's never too late to start. If you don't already have one, you're not already practicing this and are not consistent, start now. As I said earlier, it's never too early. So even small contributions to retirement or other investment compounds over time. The earlier you start, the more you benefit from compounding.
Okay, yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. So even 50 to 100 a month in investment can make a difference long term.
Exactly. As I even said earlier, it's easy and as simple as $5, because I do know some families do have it extremely tough, and taking it out $50 from a paycheck may not be worth it, because I need the $50 now. At the moment, I currently cannot make ends meet. Wonderful. So how can I take $50 off? So even if it's $5, just start from somewhere to get into that habit, to gain that consistency. Small, consistent actions, beat waiting for the perfect time, because there's never a perfect time for anything in life, really.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the economy is very uncertain. It's hard to know what to expect tomorrow. So talking about uncertainty, with inflation and interest rate fluctuation, should people change their strategies?
Certainly. In life, things happen, and as we started the conversation with, emergency, right? So when life circumstances change, you have to learn to pivot. And not everyone could do that. That's why you see businesses die. You see people aren't able to move past certain anxiety or depression or certain stages in life or growth, because they're not flexible enough, or they're not able to pivot at the right time. So again, there's timing for things. Yeah. Although starting your investment is good, any time from now is the best time. Yes, definitely. I think that one of the key things to that is to stay flexible, track your budget regularly, and adjust spending if costs rise. So consider paying extra on variable rate debts. And I know, again, that's tough. We always want to do the bare minimum we're told. The bank says pay this, or the credit card bill is this. You pay the exact amount that you can. So consider paying extra on variable rate debts when rates are high. For investment diversity, don't put everything in one asset class. It's good to diversify your assets, your different class, and finally review your emergency fund. Rising costs might mean you need a larger buffer at the end of the day. The key is planning, but staying adaptable. Life and markets change, and your strategy should too, as needed. So always remain flexible as things change. Be ready to change along with it.
Thank you very much for that information, Dr. Ethel. So we are starting to wrap up now. Dr. Ethel, what are the top 3 actionable steps our listeners can take today to balance debt, savings, and investment?
Look, that's a very good question. Here's what I would recommend. Again, just very generally speaking, prioritize high interest debt first to free up cash flow. Again, you have a lot of debt. You want to be able to, all the money that keeps going into that debt where you're paying all the interest rather than the debt, prioritize those first. What's the biggest amount? Which one's the biggest one to get rid of? And then I would say the second one is to start or to boost an emergency fund, even with small weekly contributions. And then the third one would be to invest consistently, even small amounts, and diversify to manage risks. And remember, financial management isn't about perfection. It's about consistent progress and protecting yourself from setbacks.
How wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Etel. We've all listened to everything Dr. Etel has said. Remember, for breaking this down, if I could, so to our listeners also, can start small, stay consistent, and your financial confidence will grow over time.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Dr. Etel. Thank you very much for our listeners to Money and Sense. Thank you for being here with us.
You're most welcome, Possible. Really appreciate the invitation. And remember, to everyone listening, understanding your money gives you the freedom to make choices without stress.
Thank you very much. Until next time.
Next time.